Hi, it's Danny Borris again. As you know, I collect model toy soldiers, and these figures are in fact for sale. If you wish to contact me, you can reach me at danielborris@yahoo.ca. This first grouping represents the Delhi Durbar. India, in the time of the Raj, holds fascination for many model soldier collectors. The splendour of the uniforms, the mystery and the history. The grouping captures a small aspect of the Delhi Durbar parade. There are two tradition sets, the Sikh Drum Corps and the Lancers at attention in the blue uniforms. Three Nicholson sets, the infantry regiments lining the parade. The remainder are Marlborough figures. There are mounted and dismounted Skinner horse, the Nana horse guards in black, a Raja on his elephant with attendants, a camel-mounted kettle drummer, a lady being carried in a sedan chair, 6 musicians and 6 ladies dancing. In the rear, a wagon is being loaded with spices, and there are 2 mules with their handlers. The grouping consists of 17 sets, 39 military foot figures, 13 mounted figures, and 22 civilian foot. The next set is a packaging experience, really. It shows Britain's figures boxed in perspex. These figures, this packaging, was first produced and only produced in 1989. The set piece shows 4 sets still in the boxes: an American Marine Band, the Middlesex Infantry Regiment, the US Air Force, and the US Army colour parties. Displayed, removed from the boxes, are the Middlesex Band, the Guards and Bugles, the Guards Drums and Bugles, and Queen Elizabeth. Total figures in the grouping, 48 foot and 1 mounted. This frame represents a letter from Donald Featherstone passing his collection on to me, and the 4 pictures that we look at are pictures of war games fought in Donald's home in Southampton. The next set is another Donald Featherstone frame, and it's the first of 3 that I have on his French Napoleonics. You can see the history of Don's collection unfolding on this frame. His cavalry are demi-ronde boss, half-round figures. They're hussars, and his cuirassiers are 30mm. His infantry are all minifigs, 25mm, which today are also over 50 years old. The artillery are the oldest of minifigs, and there are a total of 271 foot figures and 68 mounted figures, plus 9 artillery pieces in this grouping. This next set is again from Cyrus Eaton's grandson's collection. The grouping is unique and represents British Lancers under attack by Mahdist forces in the Sudan. The figures come from 2 sources: Marlborough miniatures and models from the collection of the grandson of Cyrus Eaton, the man who built the railroads across Canada. The Cyrus Eaton collection are clearly models and were never produced as toys. The Marlborough figures show a downed Lancer officer beside his horse and 3 Lancers with their carbines. The second set shows a mounted Emir and 3 Mahdists kneeling firing. The yellow boxes of the Marlborough figures bear the signature of the Scrobies, as was their custom, personal marketing in the 1980s. This next set are Britain's holocast figures from the World War II period. These sets are all mint holocasts and consist of Army infantry, Red Devil paratroopers, Army Air Force, pilots and WAFs, ground crew in white asbestos suits, and the Rifle Brigade. In the rear you can see many antique William Britain's trucks and other military vehicles. This set shows century-old Britain's holocaust. All of the figures in this grouping are hard to find Britain's holocaust. 4 mounted officers of the General Staff and 2 different regiments of South American Lancers. There's also a band of line infantry of 5 figures and 1 pontoon wagon set. Topping it off, there are 3 civilian painters and 2 ladders. This next grouping shows naval artillery and shore parties. The grouping is made up of sets from 3 manufacturers. The first is a William Britain's antique holocast set, 79, naval landing party, gun team pulled by 8 ratings and led by an officer, first produced in 1906. The second consists of 2 William Britain's 4.7-inch naval guns manned by 5 Marlborough ratings and 1 officer. The third is a Blenheim Gatling gun squad consisting of the gun, 2 ratings and 1 officer. The entire grouping consists of 4 guns, 1 ammunition caisson and 18 figures. This next group is yet another Civil War vignette. Although it's a small set piece, this grouping shows some of the leadership of each side in the conflict. On the Confederate side, we see Jeb Stuart mounted and charging, and Longstreet conversing with another of his generals on the Union side. We see General Meade. It's a lively little vignette showing 6 dismounted Union cavalry with another wounded hanging from his horse's stirrups being dragged along. There are also 2 infantry in Zouave uniforms. On the Confederate side we see 5 infantry including 2 standard bearers. There are also 2 cadets from the Virginia Military Academy, reminding us again that mere boys were took up in arms in the conflict, as indeed they do today. The figures are from King and Country and Frontline Miniatures. The grouping has 17-foot figures and 3 mounted figures. This last piece is the Battle of the Snowshoes. The set piece shows the work of John Jenkins. Lovely figures in the class and style of King and Country and the other modern producers. Fought in the winter in 4 feet of snow, we have Rogers Rangers and British Line Infantry taking on the French Marines and their woodland Indian allies. This during the French-Indian Wars. The grouping consists of 28 figures.